What is going on, guys? Papacy back with the video for you guys, bringing you week 2 of season 6 of the PGL. This week, your New York Klinks are taking on Blue Jay, coach of the Los Angeles Charjabugs. Her links, of course, be in the description. Going into this matchup, my opponent has kind of a team that reminds me of my MPA team a little bit, in the sense of it's a team that doesn't have rain on it, but has a lot of good rain mons. She has Tapu Koko, she has Therian, she has Alolan Raichu, a few other things that I can't think of, so it's definitely something that I was scared of. I was definitely scared for Therian, which you can see didn't come, excuse me. Going over the team that I brought really quick though: Scarf, Zoroark, nothing special. U-turn, this time I disguised it properly, which is good. STAK had actually a really good matchup this game, surprisingly. Like, yes, just have Nidoking, yes, just have Charizard X, which could go for Earthquake, but I do have Shuckleberry and do have the terrain with Tapu Bulu, which helps out tremendously. And as you can see from this battle, STAK can take a lot of hits, surprisingly. First time I ever actually used it in a league battle. I think last week I brought it, but it just died right away. Anyway, next up we got Tapu Bulu with the leftovers, I do believe. This Tapu Bulu set has Whirlwind, Nature's Madness, Woodhammer, and Rock Slide. I feel like Rock Slide would just really get this match because of the Charizard and because of the Therian. Unfortunately, Therian didn't come yet again, but still. Then next up I have a very standard beat drill, nothing too crazy, just U-turn 3 attacks, things like U-turn, Poison Jab. I don't remember the other 2 moves, but it doesn't really matter, I guess. And then I have an Assault Vest Latias with 4 attacks, just because I feel like Latias had really good coverage for this matchup. Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Psychic, Dragon Move, very good. And then last but not least, I kind of messed up on this Gligar, and I didn't catch it till after the battle started. This is just a very typical Gligar Eviolite. U-turn, Stealth Rocks, Knockoff, and I forget the last move. It was an Earthquake, though, I know that. And I had Stealth Rocks in 2 months. I had Stealth Rocks in STAK and Gligar. I don't know how I missed that, but either way, I figure, you know what? Let's just lead with my Zoroark disguised as my Gligar, because no matter what she really leads with, unless it's like the Raichu or the Tapu Koko, Scarf Zoroark would outspeed, and I can go for a U-turn, and she won't know that she leads in Poleon. Let's just start the battle. So she leads in Poleon, and I lead with my Zoroark disguised as my Gligar, and I figure, okay, Gligar naturally outspeeds the Empoleon, so unless Empoleon is speed invested for whatever reason, I believe Empoleon's base 60 and Gligar's base 85, so I have to have a pretty hefty amount of investment. She won't know that I'm Zoroark, basically, unless she, like, does a really intricate damage calc and can figure that out. But even then, I'm pretty sure that the calc between U-turn on Gligar and U-turn on Zoroark is pretty similar. So, I was tempted to click Focus Blast here, but I didn't want to miss, and I didn't want to make it that obvious that I was Scarf Zoroark, so I was like, you know, let's just get out of here. Go for the U-turn. She's probably going for Stealth Rock, so I'm pretty safe to go to my Tapu Bulu. I also have Horn Leech on this thing, like I said, so I can threaten it out. But I decided to go for the Nature's Madness because I figure, well, 1, she's at like basically full HP, so Nature's Madness can do a lot anyway. And 2, the switch is pretty obvious. She could go to her Charizard here and see this as an opportunity to set up a Dragon Dance. Luckily, I do have the Rock Slide to help with my help against Charizard. But if the Charizard's adamant Flare Blitz, I just die. So that's definitely something to keep out on. But luckily, the way this battle works, outside of her Tapu Koko and her Raichu combination, my team is generally faster than hers, so I know that if I can keep up the momentum and just keep up the speed and get the first attack off, I should be in a good situation. So Nature's Madness does 50%, of course. And here, I wanted to stay in, but I was like, you know what, I don't want to lose my Bulu to just a Flare Blitz like that, so let's go to Big Stack Attacka, If she goes for Flare Blitz, it won't do that much damage, just like recoil damage, which is great. If she goes for Dragon Dance, I can take it after Dragon Dance. If she has Earthquake, I'm in the terrain and I have a Shuckleberry, so Earthquake's not going to do anything to me. So she Mega Evolves, which is fine. Goes for the Fire Punch. Now, this tells me a few things. This tells me, 1, probably doesn't have Flare Blitz because you don't really want to run Fire Punch and Flare Blitz in the league battle. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And 2, she could be like Roost, Will-O-Wisp, Fire Punch, and then other coverage move like Earthquake or Dragon Claw. So she goes for the Roost, which tells me, okay, I'm kind of scared of the Will-O-Wisp here. I really don't want anything to get Will-O-Wisp on my team. I just go for the Stealth Rocks, thinking she would switch, fearing a Rock Slide, but she just stays in. And I'm like, okay, here I should probably go for Rock Slide because I don't want to go for Dragon Dance. She could be Roost, Dragon Dance, Fire Punch, and then we see the Earthquake. So we see the Earthquake. But I was still scared. I stayed in anyway, I guess. I don't know what I'm talking about. She goes for Earthquake, and look at the little damage that does. That's 28 damage. It's 4 times super effective, but it was in the terrain with the Shuckleberry. So go for Rock Slide here, and it connects, thankfully. And it does just over half, maybe like 60%, 65%, which is great because the other one will definitely kill. Although she could go for Roost and just sort of stall it out, but I'm getting terrain health back too, so it's not really the most effective thing as the terrain goes away right on cue. So here I believe I just clicked the Stealth or the Rock Slide. You know, I switch out. I thought she would switch here too, actually. I went out into my Latias thinking she would switch. If she does stay in, she doesn't have a Dragon move, so she's not going to be able to hit me, but she just stays and goes for Roost. So here I'm thinking like, okay, I go for a Dragon move here. I just went for it because it had a good chance to kill, and I knew Charizard is going to be a problem, so even if she switched out to Tapu Koko, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal, because I could just switch out into my Tapu Bulu and get the terrain up, which would have just canceled the terrain for the Raichu, which is another reason why I wanted to bring Tapu Bulu this matchup, just so Raichu couldn't have the Surge Surfer up. So She switches on the Dragon Claw, or Dragon Claw. On the Dragon Pulse, obviously immune, does nothing. I was so tempted to click Psychic, but I couldn't risk it. I couldn't risk the Charizard. In retrospect, I knew the exact Charizard set. I knew it was Fire Punch, Earthquake, and Roost. I guess the last one could have been Dragon Claw. I didn't know the fourth one at this point. So, in retrospect, I probably should click Psychic anyway, but it's not that big of a deal. She goes for U-turn, does a hefty amount of damage. And this tells me, okay, this is definitely a physical offense type of Coco. So, in comes the Tangrowth to go for Psychic. Does actually a decent amount of damage after Stealth Rock, as you can see. Not that horrible damage considering it's a Tangrowth. So I switch out here. I figure, okay, I can go to my Tapu Bulu. This thing, it's not going to go for a Poison move. And if it goes for a special move, then I can see if it has Sludge Bomb or Poison Jab. Or if it goes for Earthquake, which it's not going to do because terrain's up and stuff. Or because I had a Levitator out. I'm rambling. But she goes for Knockoff. And I figure, okay, she could still be special. She could just have Rogue Knockoff. She could have Poison Jab. I don't want to take the Poison move, and I'm really feeling the Poison move coming out, so I was very tempted to go to STAK Ataka, but STAK Ataka doesn't want to take a Grass move too effectively, so I switch out anyway, knowing that she would probably go for a Poison move, and I go to my Beedrill, take Rock Slam, which has been unfortunate, but she does go for the Poison move, which is amazing, and now from the range of health that this Tangrowth is out, it's forced to switch out. The terrain is not up as well, so the Raichu can't come in and outspeed me, so... And she can't go to Tapu Koko because Tapu Koko can't take a Poison move. So here, I'm like, you know what? She has to go to Empoleon. It doesn't make sense to not go to Empoleon here because the Poison move would just kill like 4 things on her team. So she goes to Nagisa, which is the Empoleon. I don't have Rocks up yet. No, I do have Rocks up yet. And Brick Break, I go for Brick Break here, which... I kind of wish I had Drill Run, but Drill Run would have less damage in the terrain, so it was a bit unfortunate. That's the one bad thing about having Tapu Bulu on your team is you can't really go for ground moves as effectively, but it's whatever. I still had a Brick Break. And this tells me that this thing is definitely invested in defense in some way, shape, or form as I take some terrain health back. It's not going to kill him. Another one's not going to kill, which is unfortunate. So I just go for U-turn here because I figured I have no reason really not to. U-turn to damage damage. I do believe it knocks it below half though. Yeah, just below half, maybe like 45%, 40%. And here I think I go out into... I go out to my Gligar. I thought that she would click Defog here potentially. I didn't think that she would click... Actually, excuse me, no. This is actually my Zoroark that I went into. My bad. That was the Zoroark, I'm pretty sure. And then now she roars me into Latias, and I just stay in with Latias and let it die, basically, because I figure, you know, Thunderbolt could kill this thing, depending on its set, again. On my calc, I had it that it was about 35%, and it looked like she was a little bit above 35%. Granted, the calc I was calculating against had, like, I think 80 special defensive use, just the default set on the damage calc. Luckily, it killed, which was great, because Empoleon gave me a little bit of trouble. So the terrain goes away here, and she gets a free switch into her Tapu Koko. I figure here she's going to go for a U-turn, so I might as well just sack my Latias here, see what she goes into, and then switch into maybe my Tapu Bulu to get my own terrain up. Which is fine. Latias did what it needs to do, basically, so I just stay in. She actually goes for the Brave Bird, not the U-turn, which is kind of surprising. I guess maybe she thought I would switch out into Beedrill, maybe? I'm not really sure what else on my team is weak. I guess maybe she thought I'd go to Tapu Bulu, but I don't know. Either way, down goes Latias, not big of a deal. This thing takes a little bit of recoil damage. And here I'm free to go out into Mocha, which is actually the Zoroark. I wish it told you in the replay, at least on your side, if it was the Zoroark or not, but it doesn't. It's kind of confusing me. So I go for Sludge Bomb because I'm Zoroark, I'm not a Gligar, and down goes it. Now this is good, because that means the train's gone. Raichu only has a couple of turns left on the train, and here she goes out into her Raichu. So here, I'm thinking like, okay, she's not going to click Psychic, she's probably going to click an electric move because it's so obvious I'm a Gligar, because Gligar doesn't get Sludge Bomb. So I just switch out and go to my actual Gligar, thinking she'd go for an electric move or potentially a Focus Blast. I don't know if she predicted this or just got confused by the Zoroark and went for HP Ice. She went for HP Ice, which is kind of unfortunate. Luckily, I live though. This is a Life Orb Raichu. Like, I know Raichu's not the strongest thing in the world, but still, it's a 4 times effective move. So I just figured, okay, I could switch out and have Tribute Fodder later on with my Mocha, but I'm going to just let it die. It takes another turn of Life Orb damage, which is cool. I go to my Tapu Bulu and the train's gone. I could go to my Zoroark. I could go to my Bulu, which I'm going to, and I know this thing can't really touch me, and the terrain is now gone, so this thing's not going to outspeed my Zoroark, it's not going to outspeed my Beedrill, which is great. Now, speed is on our side, so long as the Nidoking is not Scarfed. If Nidoking is Scarfed, that could be a bit of an issue, but we have workarounds for that. She goes for HP Ice again, which doesn't really do that much damage, as I go for the Horn Leech, which is going to knock out this Raichu, and it's going to heal me a little, which is great. So now, she could go to her Nidoking here. At this point, I was pretty leaning towards the side. Does that make sense? I was leaning on the side that the Nidoking was Scarfed, just because she didn't send it in here. And if she sent it in here and went for a poison move, that was essentially a free kill, assuming it's Scarfed. But I'm thinking maybe it's not Scarfed, and she just wasn't running max speed and was scared Bulu without speed. I don't know. Maybe she was like modest, and she thought maybe I was like a timid Bulu. She goes to her Charizard here. It goes for Fire Punch. I don't think I live this. I don't live this. Down goes my Tapu Bulu. Bit unfortunate, but I do have to beat this thing. So the terrain is up, which is amazing. So here, I can go to STAK attack here. Now my Shuck area is burned, but an Earthquake is not going to kill me, and a Rock Slide, it does min 90%. As you can see, she's at like 85%. So she goes for Earthquake, it's not going to kill me. I go from 110 all the way down to 50. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to kill it. I have a chance of living the next one. I'm assuming that she was adamant. Maybe she was Jolly. If she was Jolly, I had a better chance to live, but it doesn't really matter. I heal up a little bit. As you can see, I should live this Earthquake. I missed the Rock Slide. Very unfortunate. She goes for Earthquake. I'm thinking, no problem. I have a good chance of living it. And then Rock is going to kill this thing. And as you can see, she gets a crit. So this was super unfortunate because had I either landed the first Rock Slide or not gotten a crit to get a high roll and killed the second turn, I would have just won the game here because spoiler, I lost. Because after the game, she told me Nidoking was in Scarfed, and the combination of Dark Pulse plus, I believe, Poison Jab from, I forget what move it was on Beedrill. Maybe it was just U-Turn. Killed the Nidoking, so we get at least 50%, and she told me Nidoking was in Scarf. So unfortunately, we go down in a pretty unfortunate fashion. Really, really unfortunate that we had to get a miss and then a crit back-to-back. But it is what it is. On the bright side, you know, we do have, I believe, 8 more weeks, so we do have plenty of time. I do like this team, by the way. This was the weirdest team I've drafted, but I really like Mega Beedrill. I really like Latias, and I really like STAK Attacker. My opponent Blue Jay was also having some doubts with their team and with team building stuff like that, and was kind of feeling down on league battles and stuff, on league battles in general. So hopefully this win motivates her to stay in the league and continue trying to win and stuff like that. So GG to Blue. Her links will be in the description. Make sure you guys check out her side of the battle, see what her sets were and her thought process was. And that'll be it for me. Have a good rest of your day. I will see you guys next time. And bye-bye.